Easily Ration fans, I'm back with another video today. I'm going to show you my podcast I made for my class project in radio. And yeah, for visual aid, since it is Podcast Island albums that you bring to an island, I have Destiny Islands as the backdrop. And I'm going to do a few more visual aids for you guys. Hope you enjoy. Let's play this.
Welcome to Island Disc Swap with Zarin and Brandon. 3 albums you would bring to an island.
We're going to be talking about albums. What do you think our audience for these albums are today, Zarin?
People who like indie music and experimental music.
And I would add folk on top of that too.
Yeah, so. Folk, yeah.
Hope you guys enjoy, and it's going to be a solid good time.
Island Disc Swap with Zarin and Brandon, Part 1.
Where were you the first time you heard Black Goat of the Woods?
The first time I heard it, I was actually at work.
Be right back. See if we can bring up Google Chrome for this thing. Nope. Should be there. Google Chrome, where are you? Weird. Well, that sucks. Oh, there it is. Okay, so Black Coat of the Woods is not featured on Spotify, so I'm just going to bring up the video on this thing. And those are my grades. Kind of private information there. So Black Goat of the Woods, and I'm just gonna bring this up. So there you go, that is the visual for that.
Welcome.
Ambient music, because I was having a fascination with ambient music that sounded more eerie, and along the way I found Black Goat of the Woods. The album cover intrigued me. It was a single 40-minute long song, and I decided to give it a listen, and I've never been more paranoid and in shock at the same time in my life. I immediately went home after work and I just listened to it over and over again, blown away by just how abstract and oddball the album was. It's weird how much of an impact it's had on me. It was the album that really made me start loving experimental music. And it's the album that made me go, oh, if I want to make music, this is what I want.
So my thoughts on Black Goat of the Woods was I definitely understand the lo-fi Blair Witch vibes he described to me, because I put this in my paper for Halloween music. Some of the sounds he was giving me felt like I was swallowed inside a whale. Especially walking to Gordon Drive High-B amidst the crazy amount of traffic that we have. Definitely helped me on that walk.
Put on the album for the drive, thinking it would just be an everyday nighttime drive. But instead, I was filled with paranoia, constantly looking over my shoulder, as even in a safe place as a car, this album is still horrifying.
When one to listen to it in the blizzard.
Oh God, don't give me ideas.
Island Disc Swap with Zarin and Brandon, Part 2. Featuring Comet Craig.
The one I recommended him was Nightwish Imaginarium. First heard that album. I mean, I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan, and they're my second favorite band of all time. I just love the storytelling and all that. First heard Nightwish. It was actually before I heard Iron Maiden. There was on YouTube, they make these meme videos for their old song Bushmaster.
Really?
That's when I first heard. I didn't even know that it was like, this is opera metal, it's weird. So I didn't listen to it anymore. And then I listened to Nightwish on Iron Maiden Radio, Spotify. You can do that feature. The first song I watched was them doing their live performance of Ghost Love Score. They've had 3 singers in the past, so this was a brand new one, and it just completely blew my mind. This album, I listen to it a lot. It's a staple during Halloween for me to listen to. Music in general, like my job at Amazon, just get over the hurdles. Crazy.
Taking us back to
Yeah.
I mean, for an hour-long album, flows perfectly. One, I gotta give it that. It flows like a pretty good story. Whatever story is being told, I like it. The mixture of like symphonic metal with, honestly, I would say there's some like power metal, Celtic music, and I can see that. And I do agree with Halloween's. Yeah, this is a very Halloween album. It feels like a Disney ride.
What were your thoughts on the last song, that long poem they're doing?
Is that the 13 minutes one?
Yeah.
I think that'd be my favorite.
They actually, I think they take that, it's from that poem called Song by Itself. Something with a guy, I forgot his name. I think that's where they pulled that from, so.
Hey man, I'm glad they do, because it's a killer song. I love long tracks like that. Even though I feel I have certain nitpicks with the album, the moment I see like a long track, especially symphonic metal, they usually save last for like the longest track. It ripped.
Song's keyboardist of the band is really inspired by a soundtrack. He used inspiration from Disney's Haunted Mansion in that song.
Yeah, I hear that now. Okay, that's
And
cool.
another song of theirs is called The Greatest Show on Earth. It's their longest song, 20 minutes.
I'll have to listen to that.
They included the theme song of Avatar to that song.
So they kind of like sampled it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Comic Craig here. It's a Nightwish album. When checking that out, I really related to I Want My Tears Back. Really good song. It was just really nice to hear kind of an orchestra put together with all this kind of modern rock. I kind of like that.
Is this your first dive into this kind of genre?
Yeah, when I pulled it up on YouTube, I was just kind of nervous because the first song I couldn't understand, and then I started skipping ahead, and then all the songs were relatable, pretty cool, so I definitely recommend checking it out.
Another disc file from Zarin and Brandon, Part 3.
One you wanted me to listen to was Infinity Frequencies, Between Two Worlds. Where were you the first time you heard that?
I believe I was just at home, and I was digging deep into the broken transmission genre, which is a form of ambient music that is entirely made from TV samples. And when I was, doing just a lot of research, I saw a video that talked about this album, saw the album cover, and I was like, this looks awesome. And it definitely was one of the best experiences I've ever had. The album is entirely made from Japanese commercials, a lot of it being the newscast. First track is the night closing song that they play, are used Japanese radio show openings and closers. There's a lot of weird songs, but one of them's a toothpaste ad. And it's the track with the violin. The album, it really hit me hard because it's one of those albums that, despite it just being ambient music, it has this weird sense of dread yet nostalgia. Because a lot of these tracks, I genuinely felt like I've heard them before somewhere. Also, it's just the album, one of the albums I go to whenever I'm just where I don't know if I'm happy or if I'm sad. The title, Between Two Worlds, really is just perfect. It really hits that feeling of nostalgia and this feeling of depression all at once, and it is amazing.
Yeah, so my thoughts on it. This is my first vaporwave album I've heard that
Yeah, you could call it vaporwave.
yeah, reminds me of liminal space videos I watch on
Yeah.
Facebook. You might have seen this place in your dreams.
Yeah, that's another really big thing about it.
And there's a tall tale creepypasta called Backrooms.
Yeah, that's every time I show it to someone, they're like, this reminds me of the Backrooms. And I don't get mad, I completely get it.
It's basically a limbo, like stuck in an office building
Yeah.
forever. And they actually are making a movie on that, I heard.
Which I'm excited for.
I wish the tracks were a little longer so they have more same part with me. But it's a great album. to listen to when you wind down for bed. I took a shower like 1 a.m. last night, but I was like, yeah, this is making me tired. So.
Broken Transmission albums are very known for just having, some of the tracks on that album aren't even a minute, 50 seconds or so.
I'm gonna say it's my least album of 3, but it's still a great album to wind down to.
Oh, yeah.
More listens, but I did really enjoy it.
Island Disc from Zarin and Brandon, Part 4. Featuring Minnesota theater actress Emily Nash.
On to the one I recommended him. One of my favorite Irish bands, Slinksty, Cold Bill, and A Rainy Night. And the first time I heard it was, I'm going back to Amazon again, during December through January. I was like, I need something new to hold me over. Never heard word before.
It is a word.
Yeah, it actually means good feeling in Irish. This whole album started my love for the genre. The guitar was hypnotic to me and really pulled me in. A lot of it reminds me of Led Zeppelin, What They Want acoustic. The song Battle of Evermore definitely reminds me of this album a lot. So say it is my favorite album of the series. What are your thoughts on it?
Out of all of the Irish music I've heard over the years, I would easily say this is my favorite. I really like almost psychedelic guitars, despite it not being really psychedelic at all. But just the Celtic folk music alone is just so, felt like spiritual healing. Because I listened to this album, it was about bedtime, 2 a.m. in the morning. And I decided to put the album on, and man, it is just gorgeous. I am so happy the accent for the vocals aren't too heavy. I think that makes it all the better. I would honestly say less psychedelic and maybe more dreamy. The overall sound is just very lo-fi and beautiful.
Yeah, I remember you telling me your favorite song was the last song, The Lakes of Pontchartrain. Why did you like that one the most?
Yeah, I would say it's the most dreamy.
Yeah, it's the most slow ballad on the album.
Just me being kind of used to a much longer track, but just the progression of the track was just amazing.
Slinksty is known for bringing Middle Eastern music. Travels Andy Irvine, the guitar player. He has awesome music I'm hearing on his travels, so he brought it back to the band. That's what you hear during the guitar solos and stuff.
Killer guitar, and it's just 2 dudes, right?
4.
Oh,
there's third guy on the whistles.
That was another reason why I really like this record. The use of horns and whistles. But yeah, I'm so glad you reminded me. Yeah, the really just give it this kind of, feels like you're jumping through like a field. It's so dreamy and just.
It's like Time Machine.
Yeah, it's kind of you're at the park, really. Now that I think about it. You got some dudes by the giant water fountain just playing along. Just that feeling.
Hello, my name is Emily Nash. I listened to Planksty's album for Brandon Easley, and I thought it was a really interesting listen. I love traditional Irish folk music, so I was super excited to give this album a listen. I had never actually heard of this particular group. I really enjoyed the album, and I think it was a really beautiful, perfect example of the traditional Irish music sound. It used all of the traditional instruments, all the ones you'd expect: bagpipes, pipes, fiddle, mandolin, and personal favorite, the opening song used a hurdy-gurdy, and I love a hurdy-gurdy, so it was so fun to hear one in this album. The really stripped back harmonies were really fun to listen to. Also thought it was interesting, I looked up, this group got together in the 70s, and on and off have performed all the way up through the 2000s in a couple different arcs over a number of decades, which in itself is a really impressive feat. So again, very interesting album. I very much enjoyed it. I look forward to checking the rest of their stuff out. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Island Disc from Zarin and Brandon, Part 5.
The last album Zarin had me listen to was Have a Nice Life, Consciousness. Where were you the first time you heard it?
I was in a car. The album cover of the album really intrigued me because it was just a dead dude in a bathtub. And I know it's a painting. I need to listen to this album because it looks interesting. And when I did, I was absolutely blown away. This album has everything against it. The fact that the album was made with only $1,000 and was made entirely in a basement blows me away. When you look at it firsthand, once you get the second track, Blood Hill, those drums don't sound the greatest. No matter how much you love this album, it doesn't sound that good. But yet, it still just keeps it all together as well. The bass and the guitars, they just create this shoegazy, post-punk feel that is just so depressing. Along with the lyrics, it's just Jesus. That's what is happening to these people. It is one of the most depressing albums I think I've ever heard.
Yeah, so I'll give my thoughts on it. Gave it a 10 out of 10. I need to do the part 2 on my YouTube, but then...
That good?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm a huge Joy Division fan, and the atmosphere of these songs definitely brought me to the style of that band. To me, it sounds like it was recorded in a cave.
Oh, yeah.
The Batman a bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, definitely took me on a song journey, and it's now in my favorite albums list. I envision like Northern Lights in my head as well while listening to this. I just think it's an awesome album overall. Great recommend. So.
I took a gamble with that one because I was like, maybe the bad production and the bad mixing might tilt you the wrong way. Again, it's one of those albums that no matter how bad it sounds, it's somehow revolutionary.
Lots and lots of reverb.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can barely hear the vocals sometimes. Who cares? The instrumentation is just, you're floating at this point.
Okay, so I kind of tied the genres together like bands you listen to. Definitely all of them are definitely experimental. So what's how do you like experimental music?
Just like when people doing whatever we want.
Alan Diswab, Zarin and Brandon, Part 6. Featuring Common Craig again. All right.
What I had to do was Bone Bear, forever ago. First time I heard it was a long time ago in middle school. That was the time a lot of the Mumford & Sons, a lot of that folk revival was coming out. So I definitely like what I hear. I want to hear more. And I remember I would spend hours on YouTube just watching random live stuff. Yeah, I just found this French name. I'm going to listen to some French music today randomly on a whim. And this was the performance of Skinny Love, where he was performing in a friend's attic, large crowd of people, maybe at a party. And just his voice and the guitar playing and the warmth sense from that video made me tear up. Yeah, I've loved it ever since, and life has been tied to this album. This album got me through my breakups primarily. Definitely spent some nights tearing up to this album, of course, and I still do. Some of it you can hear, it's not just depressing all the way through. You can sense the times during the family where it's all warm and you're laughing. That's the vibe I get as well from this album. It's a huge album in my life, and it's the first album I bought on vinyl records, actually. There you go. That's my thoughts on that. So what are yours?
I think this might be my favorite of the three. I'm not quite sure. This one feels very wintry, but it still gives me that kind of dreamy, depressive vibe.
He actually made this album after a breakup. He isolated himself. He went up cabin his father made in Wisconsin, recorded the album. It's a pretty awesome story there, and a great success to bounce back. He even thought about quitting music before he made the album. He just got himself a acoustic guitar. I was like, I'm moving out to the woods. Weeks, probably. What was your favorite song?
Skinny Love. I would say it's probably the most simplistic song on the album, but honestly I feel like that benefits the depressive, cold atmosphere that he kind of goes for, even though I would say out of most of the tracks, this is probably one of the more beautiful ones. And also he changes up his vocal style on the track, and I just fell in love with how he just sounded. It sounded someone desperate and tired of, one, just being sad, and two, isolation. Someone who is truly isolated from the world. He hunted his food as well when he was there.
Bon Iver is not his actual name. His name is Justin Vernon. And Bon Iver is derived, I just Googled this, it was from the French phrase Bon Hiver, meaning good winter. That makes sense. And he's definitely taken a style change. His later albums I like it just as much. More memory from listening to his first albums.
I've been familiar with him since his album To A Million. because I've seen that album everywhere.
Yeah.
And I've always been interested, but I just never got around to it.
Comic Craig here.
Your opinions on the Bon Iver album?
You know, it was slower, and it definitely got me into my thoughts. So if you want something, if you're in kind of a mood where you just want to mellow out and kind of go into deep thought, I definitely recommend checking this album out as well. One of the songs that I listened to repeatedly was The Wolves, Act 1 and 2. So if you're looking for a song to really get focused and dialed in and locked in, maybe you're playing a game, or it's kind of a good balance between that heavy-hitting gameplay mixed with the rhythm of the songs.
The three albums I recommended all tie into the folk genre in a way, and I just love, feeling cozy with music, and a lot of these three albums definitely give me a cozy feeling. These three albums I definitely listen to on cold nights like tonight. I just love the high emotional storytelling, even if you have to look up what the meaning of the songs are. I just think the folk genre is awesome, and a lot of the time it's made fun of, it means a lot, and kind of the basis for my radio show, because I know Irish stuff gets memed a lot, and it's not just music to listen to on one holiday. Yeah, to wrap it up, what's your top three?
How would I rate your albums?
Yeah.
I think my least favorite would go to Nightwish and Imaginarium. Very good. I didn't really care for most of the opera parts. It just felt so out of place sometimes. I can see why other people like it. I mean, if you like Black Parade, this is probably something you really like. And then, I don't know what, Planksty and Bon Iver are like toe-to-toe. They both do the perfect job.
Top three for me. Number one is Have a Nice Life. I don't know, maybe I'm just into atmospheric slow music. Love the Batman soundtrack, so that ties into that.
Yeah, definitely has a sprinkle of slowcore.
Two is Black Goat of the Woods. I just like walking to the music. Helped me appreciate it more. It is one long song, but it's an awesome long song.
Black Goat of the Woods is my favorite of the three. Holy. Time I re-listen to it, I always find like a new sound somewhere. Listening to this album on a midnight drive, 2 in the morning, is horrifying.
And yeah, my last one is Infinity Frequencies, and I forgot to mention that also reminds me of video game soundtracks. One that's striking to me is a spy game called AI and the Somnium Files on Nintendo Switch, and it features dreamy news music like Zarin, and
I can see that.
That's going to wrap up the Desert Island Disc Swap with Zarin.
Thank you.
Might return to this in the future, who knows? It's also talking music with the guys.
Oh yeah. It was fun. It was real fun.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Thanks for tuning in for a episode of Island Albums with Zarin and Brandon.
That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That took a lot of effort from me trying to edit the sound right over the talking tracks over the music. That was definitely the hardest part, because you gotta balance both out and make it sound so the music doesn't overpower or the vocals don't overpower. And that is a pretty tough job, but I did it all on my own. So I'm super proud of what I achieved on this, and just wanted to show it off. Thank you very much. Zarin, let me know if you want to do a part 2. That I think that'd be awesome. Just for fun this time. Can even cuss. So, let me know. Thanks, man. I'll send this to you later.